Hey, hi. Good to see you. 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 How are you? Welcome to the Atrioc broadcast here on a Saturday, January 4th, 2025. What the hell? We're 4 days into the new year. Feels like 25 is halfway over. How? I'm not muted, am I? Okay, good. How are you? 2 days left. Okay, 2 days until January 6th, when things really shake up. When the system really shakes up. Leaf Hill, thank you for the 14 months. Are you part of Thanos world, brother? What does that mean? What does being part of Thanos world mean? I do think, and this is probably unfounded because it's random. I think if Thanos were to snap, I would live. I wouldn't get dusted. And I think it's just because I'm built different. I think I just wouldn't, I would like will myself to not get dusted. There's a website to check. Wait. Website check Thanos snap. Did Thanos kill you? That's just math. That's just math. That's just math. That's just facts. That's just logic. Sorry, liberals. Sorry. I'm spared. I'm spared. I'm chill. And what's cool is, as a survivor, I would not blame Thanos for the dusting. I would blame my political opponents. I would sort of use the tragedy as an excuse to demonize them and then rise the ranks politically. It's like just a cool thing that I would do. Thanos did nothing wrong. What's funny is, you know, his plan is so stupid. It's so short term. It's like, okay, you snapped and the population's in half. There's a bit of a chaos, and then we return to population growth. It doesn't. What a dumb fucking plan. You haven't solved anything. You have infinite cosmic power. Why not snap in double resources? You know what I'm saying? It's the same effect. It's so stupid. And if you're gonna snap and put the world in half, hit the old people. I'm sorry, but you know what I'm saying? Make the population pyramid so that it's not all old people, and it just doesn't make any sense. It just was foolish, and it really undermines his credibility as like the ultimate villain. Because he can't even think through his plan for 2 seconds. He thought the experience of loss would teach the world a lesson. What's the lesson? Our superheroes fucking suck? They couldn't beat one idiot purple dude? There's not a good lesson there. There's not a takeaway. There's not a learning. The learning is, fuck, whatever we do, we're at the whims of a guy with god powers. I think. Well, also, I mean, if the snap can truly do everything, why not just snap and then people don't need to eat? Everyone survives on photosynthesis. Oh, bam, problem solved. Do you know what I'm saying? We have the fucking energy of the sun. It doesn't. He turned billions of people into dust instantly. It doesn't. Or you snap and and then a rule has appeared. A giant rule hits the whole galaxy, and it's like, if you're an asshole, like if you cut somebody off in traffic, you turn into dust. Okay? All of a sudden, everyone's on their best behavior. All of a sudden, everyone's using their signal and letting you merge. Okay? You'll be dust your first day. Well, obviously there needs to be an addendum that streamers have to play by the rules. Why should I as a streamer have to fucking wait for you if I'm trying to get somewhere in my car? I don't even wait for pedestrians. I don't even wait for old ladies or people with a stroller. I just no signal, no blinker, full rev. What I do though, here's what I do. I learned this from MKBHD, my goat. Hold the horn down. Okay, so pretty much from the moment I'm in the car to wherever I get to where I want to go, I just hold that horn down, and then I'm just crazy taxiing. And it's like, if you didn't hear it, it is a bit your fault, right? I mean, can we agree on that? Can we at least agree on that? Like, if I'm holding the horn down and you get hit, NTA, thank you. Flash your brights for the deaf. Just constantly holding your horn down with your brights flashing. Just, it brings a lot of attention too, which I like as a content creator. I want people to be looking at me when I'm driving. Hey, Atrioc, that's why in the comics, Thanos wanted to kill half the population so Death would fall in love with him. When you're a simp, your plan doesn't have to add up. Oh, so the actual idea was that he wanted to kill a bunch of people so that Death herself would fall in love with him because he could kill so many people. And then in the movies, they're like, that's too dumb even for us. So let's make it a population control thing. Okay. I'm now caught up. I'm caught up with the I see. Bro killed trillions to smash. I mean, that is literally like, yeah, untold trillions across the galaxy. That's crazy. Didn't he try anything else first? Did he try just like being himself? You know what I'm saying? Smiling, eye contact, being confident, saying something nice, complimenting her on her work as Death. It's almost weird. It's like if I don't know. It's like trying to one up her in a way. Like, I don't know. It's like if I was trying to date Caitlin Clark, if my plan was I'm going to become even better than her at 3-point shooting, and that'll make her fall in love with me. It's like, why not just be myself and have my own skills and abilities and then compliment her on her 3-point shooting? That seems like it's just a weird, do you understand? It's a weird, like, Death is very good at killing people already. Probably when Death gets off work, she doesn't want to talk about more people dying or like how many people you killed. It's this is the equivalent of John Hinckley Jr. trying to assassinate Reagan to impress Jodie Foster. Well, assassinating Reagan would impress some people. I don't know who. Caught. Some people will be impressed if you assassinated Reagan. That's a more targeted. That's not trillions of people. You know, a lot of people are making fan cams of Luigi Mangione and saying how hot he is. I guess you could try that. You know what I'm saying? They could do. What if Luigi Mangione only killed the healthcare CEO to impress Death? What if Luigi Mangione's trying to smash? I feel like that would certainly lessen his impact in my mind. We rest our case, Your Honor. That's the lawyer. The lawyer holding up a copy of Infinity War. And that's our defense, Your Honor. And in our defense, it was doing it for true love. Luigi Mangione, this is my lawyer dog. I'm going to jail for sure. He did it for love. Jay Silent Wolf, thank you for the 29 months. Yellow Tintin, thank you for the Prime. 17 months of Prime. That's consistency. That's dedication. That's hard work. That's labor. I appreciate that. You've clicked that button 17 times. Atrioc, thoughts on this college football marketing stunt, win or fail? I haven't clicked it yet. Is it Pop-Tarts? No. Did you see the Pop-Tarts Bowl came back this year and they went even wilder with the Pop-Tart mascot? He was like ripping off his silver packaging as like a strip tease, and they're going crazy. They're really getting into it. Shit's wild. You see Mr. Beast got engaged? I did, because he did it in the most millennial way possible. He did it with a post that said, so I kind of did a thing. His wife looks like she knows her way around Wingardium Leviosa, is what I'll say. She's watched the Harry Potter films. This is deeply millennial, and he's wearing his merch. That's crazy. I'm a fan. Nothing more millennial than that. As a millennial, how could I not? If they had just done it in a Chili's, this would have been a pure win. Why are all millennials so cringe? It's like their curse. Reading your chat history. Scrolling. You spammed Jojo Siwa for a bit. I don't know what that's about. Honestly, mostly you just spam caught and I can't. So I can't. There's not much on you. You just spam caught and I can't every day. 999 plus messages. You might be safe. All right, you're right. Millennials are cringe. The perfect chatter. His criticism stands. I'll have to admit it. Millennials are cringe. Oh, millennials. We are like the wisest and smartest of generations, and our only curse is that our wisdom gets filtered through this cringe filter. So no one, it's more like Cassandra in the myth. We speak only truth, but you can't hear it because we can't say it till we've had our coffee. We can't say it until we add a fucking Marvel movie quote to it, or no, that's more Gen Z. Harry Potter quote. What is little bro talking about? Especially where I'm timing you out for 6 years. I'm timing you out for 6 years, and I'll see you then. No, I'll see you then. It'll be fun. It'll be 2031, and we'll talk about it. Can has cheeseburger? Bro, you guys don't even know how great that was. Can you imagine just like you had a fucking shit day at school, your teacher was talking about some dumb shit, and then you get online, your parents are being annoying, and all of a sudden you see I Can Has cheeseburger, and you are cracking the fuck up, dude. You do this, you go over to Cool Math Games, and you fucking play Stick Boy or something. It's fucking awesome. You play that helicopter. This shit was gas. And you're talking about like it's bad. It's crazy. You've lost all sense of culture or taste or whatever. Linkin Park in the End just came out. Facts. You know, I kind of like the new album. Cancel me if you must. Burn me at the stake. I like the new album. It's been fun. It's been my rotation. Been playing it. Um, Scientology, though, the thing is that's a plus for me. I actually didn't like the album until I found out about the Scientology, and I was like, yes, fuck yeah. The thing with me is I realize that Scientology is the truth. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like the actual one true light of God. It's the one true way of seeing the world. So like once you realize that and you're out of the system, it becomes a huge plus. Xenu, a big Xenu guy, big Lord Xenu guy. Yeah, exactly. How much Tom Cruise merch do you have? So funny you asked that. That is so funny that you asked that question. One second. Hey, man. Okay, longer to find than I thought. This is my Mission Impossible Ethan Hunt, every Tom Cruise. So yeah, Scientology's kind of my thing, you know? Uh, it's kind of badass. It's actually weirder than I expected. What did you expect when I said I'm going to get Tom Cruise merch? What did you expect that was less weird than that? Mission Impossible is dope, not gonna lie. Amen, brother. Amen. Excited for the new one. Excited for the new one this year. Pops the final one. What is the proper occasion to wear an Ethan Hunt word art looking shirt? They gave it the prime. Weddings, funerals, graduations, basically major life events is like the problem. Is the right time to wear an Ethan Hunt shirt because it inspires people. You know what I'm saying? People often are like looking for signs of hope in trying times, and when they see your Ethan Hunt shirt, they're inspired by Ethan Hunt, a person who pushed through all the odds, basically to do things that some thought were impossible, missions and the like. So yeah, you could wear it to your own wedding. You could wear it to a birth. You could wear it to a lot. When showing your support in court cases. But yeah, I leave for Air Force Basic in a week. Any tips? Monster Energy, Camaro. Those are the big two. That's how you fit in. Okay? Number 3 is Zin. Yeah, okay, sorry, Zin now. That's Army. I promise you I grew up on Air Force bases my entire life. That's not just Army. You get those, you're good. Lots and lots of alcohol? Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Atrioc, your YouTube channel has 700k subs. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate you telling me. I hadn't noticed. No, we have a fucking team checks it every day. I'm working on it, but I didn't. Thanks you for being the person that let me know. No, it's cool. 700k, big day. Like I said, I told this in my meeting. I'm sorry, I said this in my meeting to my editors. We hit 700k on main, we hit 200k on clips, and we almost hit 100k on VODs, which means combined, The Atrioc channel empire is almost at 1 million. Like within a few, we're almost at 1 million. But the goal is eventually to get one channel to 1 million. I don't think I can do it this year unless something crazy happens. I'm a bit of a slow grower. But 800K is the next goal. 800K. That's what we're looking. We're pushing for 800K. Hey, Atrioc, I showed my dad your videos as a joke, and now he unironically watches and enjoys it. What do you mean you showed him as a joke? What was the joke? The joke at my expense? This is a first-time chat. What do you mean? Like, hey, Dad, check out this dipshit. Let's make fun of him, and then he ends up liking it? Or what is the joke? I don't understand. I don't understand. Look at this dumbass's vid. What is that? Why can't you just look at the video recommended honestly to your dad, and then perhaps he enjoys it? What is the joke involved? Have you ever... I am loath to recommend a YouTube video almost to anyone ever. Because YouTube videos are so... The taste on them is so personal, and you often need the context to truly enjoy them. It's like, for example, this. You guys ever seen the show Friends? If you've seen a lot of episodes of Friends, then watching one more episode is usually pretty funny because you've grown to like the characters. So even if they say something that's like on its face dumb, you kind of, it fits in, and so the vibe is fine for you. But if someone watches a random episode of Friends, it's like, this isn't funny at all. Like, who is this guy? That wasn't funny. Why is there a big laugh? Do you know what I'm saying? It's I think that's true of a lot of things where you need the context. But by the way, I don't think this is the right way to think. I think people that are recommenders are doing God's work. I honestly think so much of my growth comes from people saying, hey, check this guy out. Dude, somebody was saying this. I think I watched a video where a guy was talking about it. Or maybe a short. He said that he had a friend say, you're going to watch Atrioc today. He said, no, I'm not interested. The guy said, no, you are. Then sat him down and made him watch the entire China video and made him watch the whole thing start to finish. And now that guy's a big fan. Like, now he's like, no, I watched a ton of Atrioc videos. That's crazy. I would never have the stones to do that with anything that I recommend. And people doing that have helped my content. That's awesome. It's like step by step with a content like mine. It doesn't hit the algo in a major way. So I appreciate it. But I just generally think like, because, we've all, maybe not all of us, but most people have been there when you've recommended a video, a short video. Like even a 3-minute video, and you're like, this is funny. And then they're watching it in front of you and they're not laughing. And then the 3 minutes feels like 90 years. It's just like, it's brutal. It's brutal. And every pause in the video suddenly feels way less funny and it feels way longer. And it's like, this flowed so easily when I watched it on my own. And then you have to tell them to wait. Yeah. So it's tough. It's tough. You have to have some bravery, and I respect it. Atrioc, I saw a stand-up show tonight, and the comedian was talking about me and Fate made fun of for eating glizzies, and it reminded me of you. Him, Kyle, think of the 32 months. I don't see why that would remind you of me. I don't see any connection, but maybe it's because he's a stand-up comedian, he's very funny, and it's like streamers are even funnier than that. Is that what you're trying to say? It's like you saw a person whose professional job is comedy, and you're like, wow, they're not even half as funny as someone who's online playing video games. That probably makes sense. I see the connection. Hey, Big A, thoughts on the new NATO head telling the world to consider war in the near future? I talked to him. I said, chill out, bro. I said, relax. We ain't gonna have war, little bro. Otherwise, I might get the 2 guns involved. And he said, oh, you're right. And he stood down. So, if you are worried, don't be. Don't be. We are all chill. Scaring the Nate hoes. Thanks for negotiating the whole BRICS NATO thing. Glad you got that all worked out. Yeah, I just told him, like, we're going to put it together. We're going to... What did we BRICS plus NATO? Here, I'll use ChatGPT. We're going to figure this out. ChatGPT. Come up with an acronym. Come up with an acronym that combines all the letters of BRICS and NATO. Brenado. Nat bricks. Wow, this is truly the power of AI. Wow, this is truly the power of AI. Holy, thank you for the 20 gifties. God damn, let me thank you in a second. Holy God, dude. No human being could have done this. Nat tricks. No, about no bricks. There's no T in that. There's no T. So it's not even the fucking... These are terrible. Zuckerberg's reality. We're in the metaverse. Thank you for the 20 gifted. Sultan of Sicily. You have 0 chat messages. You just showed up. No, wait. You followed me in 2021. You've never chatted, and you showed up today to gift 20 subs. Thank you, Sultan of Sicily. I appreciate that. That's based. You're in it for the love of the game. Bistro Knack. There it is. I'm creating Bistro Knack. And it will combine all the countries into one big happy family. Bistro Knack. This is big. Kind of good? Yeah, it is. Or it could be like, nah, bistro, see? Holy shit. Holy shit. That's fucking sick as hell. Wait, Atrioc is in this. Wait. Atrioc. T-R-O-I-A-C. It's Atrioc BS. What if we just had we had one country that starts with O, we can get no Atrioc BS. What if every country on Earth, what's an O country? Oh, Ohio's not a country. Ocean. Oh, no. Okay, fine. Ohio. Every country on Earth, Ohio separates from America legally and becomes its own separate entity, and we get no Atrioc BS. They all unite against me. I'm sort of falling on the sword here, jumping on the grenade. I end world wars. I create world peace, but at the cost of everyone hating me. Everyone being fed up with my BS. I'm Lelouch. Holy shit, this is a powerful moment. This is big. A win for USA to get rid of Ohio? Yeah, no, and also the USA gets rid of Ohio. Atrioc's secret weeb. I've seen Code Geass, if that's what you're asking. If that's what you're insinuating. I've seen Code Geass. Does that make me a weeb? God willing, I'm trying to get into the club. Didn't particularly love it, but it's pronounced gay ass. I don't think so. I don't think it's Code Gay Ass. I think you're trying to get me in trouble at the anime store. You're gonna get made fun of. You're gonna get made fun of at the anime store. Naruto, #1 anime of all time. What is actually, like, if you asked, what is #1 anime of all time? It's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? I've seen that. I am a weeb. Remember the part with the dog? Real ones know. You know what I'm saying? Real ones know. Real ones know is all I'll say. Hunter X Hunter. Real fans pronounce the X. That's #2. Look at this. Look at this list. Steins Gate? Who the fuck cares? Code Geass is 4? With the chess scene, it's 4? I like Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop kind of fucks. Fighting Spirit, haven't seen it. That's a map in StarCraft. Gurren Lagann? No. Death Note? Yes. PogChamp. Love Death Note. It's so Pog. I'm sort of like an L in a way, but I'm not taking an L, and I'm not an L, but I'm like an L type person. Well, no, that doesn't sound right either. I'm like a W type person, but I have the intelligence and smarts of L, if that makes sense. Okay? Monster and Mushishi, Gintama, Attack on Titan, Fighting Spirit, New Challenger. Get over this Fighting Spirit thing. Nobody cares. Tatami Galaxy, and then One Piece is right there at 19. Honestly, oh, Madoka Magica, bro, I'm straight up a weeb. I've seen this. I've seen this. I've seen this. I've seen this, and I've seen this. It's insane how little you have to see to be a fucking weeb. You've seen Madoka? Yeah, I'm kind of a big deal. Yes! All the weebs come to the yard when I talk about having seen Madoka Magica. They always say, oh, your taste is so basic. Oh, you've only seen the basic bitch animes. And then I say I've seen Madoka Magica, and then they all fucking go, oh, ooh, oh, oh. Yeah. Bobby Scar made me watch it all, the entire series in a weekend. And I did. And I watched episode 1 and I wanted to quit. I was like, this is the worst fucking show I've ever seen in my entire life. Why am I watching this absolute trash? This is fucking Sailor Moon, but somehow worse. And then I watched episode 2 and I was like, damn, I was wrong. Damn, I was wrong. You fucking tricked me. You tricked me. And then I mean, we smoked weed and I watched the rest the whole weekend. And it was hype. It was cool. It was beast. It sort of subverted my expectation. As a millennial, my expectations constantly need to be subverted for me to bat chest appropriately. I can never play to my expectations, always subvert them. That's why my single greatest and most favorite movie is Star Wars 7. That movie is peak to me because it subverts my expectations. I expected the characters to act normally, and then they didn't. And that made me fucking bat chest. Are you going to watch Linkus and HDQ tomorrow? I don't know if no, I'm not going to be live. I'm not live on Sunday. No. Not live on Sunday, but I will be watching it, of course. I'm never live on Sundays. I don't go live on Sundays. Sundays is never a thing that I will be doing, and I will not do any Sundays maybe this whole year if I'm keeping to my schedule. I've been very good with my schedule. Yeah, I'm going to spend time with Ari. I'm going to work on marketing Monday. Easy clap. Close on Sundays. So I'm sort of your Chick-fil-A, if that's deep, if that sounds wise. Plus, I have to go to church for 6 hours a day. You guys are all doing it. Like, how do you guys find time to watch me on Sundays when you're all going to church? I don't understand. Surely none of my chatters are not God-fearing Christians. This has always been a deeply religious stream. So, like, if you guys didn't pick up on that, I don't know what to tell you, but this has always been mostly about teaching the word of Christ. Like, the Popathon was a parable of Jesus. Quincy was Jesus. I mean, that all came through real obviously. I don't know if you guys didn't pick up on that. That's, is Bobby Scar still on a sabbatical? That is the worst spelling of sabbatical I've ever seen. I mean, no shade. No shade. That I did not pick up on what you're saying. But we got there. I figured it out. Yeah, Bobby Scar has not worked at Twitch in a long time and is on a commentary sabbatical, mostly because he self-admits that he doesn't know as much about the game as the good commentators nowadays. I think he has gracefully passed the torch in a really true and cool way. Him and Toph, so when I was working with Bobby Scar in 2019, if you guys don't know, People's Champ emote in chat, he's a great Smash Bros guy, and he worked at Twitch. I bought him speaking of anime, it's all ties together. Do you guys know this anime? I forget what it's called. Do you know this anime? Akagi. That's exactly what it's fucking called. It's called Akagi. It's an anime about playing mahjong at a really high level and like people playing mahjong for their lives or whatever. Okay? And Bobby Scar was really into this anime, so I bought him a nice mahjong set in 2019. And he put it in storage and didn't look at it for 6 years. and then this past weekend, he said, "Hey, yo, do you know who bought me that mahjong set all that time ago?" And I didn't remember. I didn't remember buying it. But I went to my Amazon and I searched it. I searched mahjong and I found that I had bought it for him in 2019. And then I was like, "Yeah, dude, it was me." And he's like, "Dude, me and Toph just busted that thing out and played with it all weekend. What a fire gift." And then he sent me these pictures. This is him and, I mean, Toph's the one taking it, but this is Bobby Scar and Ben SW and Toph playing mahjong with my set. That's bad. The gift paid off. So that's cool. Anyway, that makes me this photo. I'm sharing it with you because they're just so sweet. They're just sweet people. Look at these guys. That's Scar and Toph, baby. The GOATs. Any Melee fan knows. You guys are the GOAT commentators. Anyway, Scar's super happy. He's got his kid. You know, he's doing his thing. He looks like Pete Davidson. Looking at it again. Scar looks like Pete Davidson. Or you mean Toph? Kind of like Pete Davidson looks like their son. Pete Davidson kind of has a little bit of both. If I could see that. I could see that. If they were a gay couple and somehow you could fuse DNA in that way. Yeah, that could work. That could work. I'm not opposed to it. Anyway, folks, today's Get Smarter Saturdays. I will warn you up front. I have a lot to do tomorrow to get ready for Monday. And I may end this stream early. But we're still going to watch good things. We're still going to have good times. And also, for the purposes of perhaps just getting a topic out there, I wanted to talk to you about something I read today. And I don't have a deep ton of things to say about it. I just think it's strange. I just think it's strange. I was reading on Business Insider about a company called Pocket.Watch. Pocket.Watch. This is literally their name, Pocket.Watch. Okay? And what they do is they're like former Nickelodeon executives. Here, I'll show you their fucking their team. Yeah, here it is right here. This is their team. It's like a bunch of old dudes, to be honest, who all worked in kids TV, and they've realized that YouTube is the future and they want to make the most money off of children on YouTube as possible. And so they created this company, Pocket.Watch, that essentially partners up and then eventually gets the rights to famous child stars like Ryan's Toy Review or whatever. And then they have like a 3-step plan they're working on to turn them into global infinite brands. So I'm going to go to the whiteboard cam. So the first thing they do is they animate all their creators so that they can be 7 years old forever. They create animated versions that they try to get the kids that are watching attached to. So it's like if you're watching Ryan's Toys reviews, maybe 1 in every 3 episodes will just be animated. And that way, number one, Ryan doesn't have to do the work because he's a little kid, so they can do more effort. And then secondly, the kids get attached to it and it becomes a brand. And so that once Ryan grows up, they can still make tons more. The second thing they're working on is, oh, sorry. Let me get the pocket, this over here. Sorry. And we should fix these cameras in some way. You're actually right. Let's see if I can. Ryan has an animated version already. Yeah, he works with Pocket.Watch. That's what I'm talking about. This is what they. This is a quote. See how I wrote it in quotes? Ryan will be 7 forever. I put it in quotes. It's a quote from them talking about Ryan, you dumb fuck. Okay. Anyway. Number 2, they're working on children's podcasts. This is podcasts for children. Now, what they realized is, let's say you have a 9-year-old girl as one of your YouTube stars. For example, I don't know her name. I think her name's Dina or something. Dina's, what's her name? I was looking this up. Her name is Kids Diana Show. 129 million subscribers. Kids Diana Show. This show, by the way, she's, I think, 9 years old. Her parents started making videos of her when she was 1 year old. Look, it's all, I don't know what language this is, I'll be honest with you. But they're not from America, but then they started getting big, and now they are just a global, it's all American. It's all, it's all English, you know? It's like they're a global, I think they're Russian, okay, so they're Russian. Now it's a global brand. And they don't even use her in all these, it's just like, it's just a brand now. They just hire child actors to keep it going. But anyway, Diana, Kids Diana Show, here, let me go back to my whiteboard cam. She's too young to do a podcast. She doesn't have the time or the intellectual capacity to talk that long in a cohesive manner. And again, a kid's podcast has to be really engaging because if there's no visuals, it has to be like a storyline. So they hired a voice actress that sounds like her. To do a podcast that the kids think is her telling some kind of story where they're the hero. That's the idea of the kids podcast. It's wild. I mean, it's fucking wild. And you can see here, they also hired a bunch of ex-Nickelodeon people, again, to start making full animated shows to try and turn these type of kids into brands they can try to exploit forever, for decades. Like, watch the beginning of this. This is Hobby Kids.
Awesome attitudes. Hobby mom, hobby dad, hobby kids not really bad. Hobby.
I mean, they're literally just getting the children's brand and YouTube and likeness rights and then literally erasing them. and replacing it with cartoon characters, but using their channel as a
Hobby, 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 hobby,
By the way, Butch Hartman? Yeah, no, someone said this is literally Butch Hartman's style. Yeah, they hired him. He did Fairly Odd Parents. They fucking hired him. They have so much money, they hired Butch Hartman to make fucking Hobby Kids Adventure.
That parent-teacher conference at the school was very enlightening.
Isn't that shit wild? This whole thing was, I was deep diving today because I was like, this is fucking crazy. Yeah, anyway, they're making a big focus on audio content. Look, never growing up. The idea is that these kids can never grow up because if they grow up, they're not appealing to kids anymore. And the brand is what's powerful. So they're finding ways to like fossilize these children in amber and keep it going forever. Okay, here's the direct quote. Isn't that wild? And again, so many of these children have been, doing content since they were like 1 year old at their parents' insistence. It's odd. It's just odd. I don't know what to think about it. It feels dystopian in a way. One thing I do think is less dystopian, but obvious, is that more and more people are making full animated shows for kids for YouTube. Because YouTube has become like, when I was a kid, you would surf Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon just to watch cartoons. It's becoming a TV network, and that anyone can create content for it. So that sort of makes sense. It's like almost like not necessarily even a bad thing, although it seems to be a race to the bottom because of the way the algorithm rewards certain types of content. It's all like Spider-Man, Elsa horseshit, and not like, trying to make it Avatar: The Last Airbender. But perhaps it'll create something great one day that's not going through a studio system. Not super sold on it. Anyway, I also, they mentioned their main star is this Play Diana. So I looked into her, and again, like, that's crazy. She's got 100 million subscribers. This is their family. I get a weird sense. She's been doing it since she was 1 year old. They want their kids to have normal lives. How normal can it be? How normal can it be? I don't know. It seems fucking odd. Let's see. I mean, does she seem like normal in this video?
Excellent! Don't you tell me! No, it's not a key.
It's insane how...
It's a key! Another key.
This is insane. This video probably has more videos than my entire channel. How many views does this have? It does! Or it's probably equal. 229 million views. For 41 minutes. This printed money. I mean, this is hundreds of thousands of dollars. Maybe $1 million+ dollars. I have 300 million. Get destroyed, Kids Diana show. Get destroyed. 300 million Atrioc channel. That's not even counting the clips. That's not, get it mogged. Check total. Nah, it's fine. She only has that one video, I'm sure. Here's their first video.
Всем привет! Это наша дочка Диана. Диане 1 год и 1 месяц.
I mean, that's fine. It's just a kid's video, but then I guess it took off. Gangster baby. Did you say gangster just because she was speaking Russian? Because that's a little bit stereotypical. Or did you say it because she was doing a crip walk? Because that makes sense. Anyway, so there was that. I was looking into that. I mean, I looked at their website. They're making an absolute metric fuck ton of money. I mean, they do 7.4 billion views a month with all the channels they partner with. And they're getting like dominant control of every kid's YouTuber. And then again, leveraging that power to go to brands who are desperate to market to kids and saying, if you want to get your in front of kids' eyeballs, we own every YouTuber that can do that. And they're charging. I mean, it's brilliant business. It's just fucking crazy. And so they're printing money. Now, if you had to estimate 7.2 billion views to AdSense, I don't know, man. It'd be a lot of money, especially because it's kid friendly. Probably a fuck ton of money. I don't. Yeah, me and Squeaks are gonna do a Skibbity Toilet React channel, try and get some of this cheese. Okay, there's a lot of cheddar in here. Let's see some of the shows. We make the shows that kids love. It's literally called Pocket.Watch. Just notice. I mean, just notice all the animated character. They're literally doing this. They're trying to create a digital replica that they can use on branding and art and videos to turn out. They're barely even showing the kit. That was the only thing I want to mention. So part 3. That's what I knew there's a part 3. The third part is once the content has been proven on YouTube, once they've got a ton of views and they know it works with kids and they got the algorithm right, they package up all the things and they turn them into episodes and they sell them to every single streaming platform. They go to sell to streamers. It's like Hulu, Roku, Apple TV, Plex, Fire TV, Sling, Android, all those. They just fucking they package it up and they sell it all to fill their hours for kids TV content. Roku is a big one, yeah, exactly, Roku. And then print money that way. I mean, they're just making money in every direction, hand over fist. It's crazy. It's like industrial scale. You know, they've turned one 7-year-old opening toys into such an industrial scale business. It's crazy. So anyway, that's a little thing happening in the world I want to bring you aware of. A second thing, just while we're on the subject, I want to talk about, have any of you heard of the app Lemon 8? Lemon 8. Have any of you heard of this? Lemon 8 is the number one free app on the App Store today. It just passed ChatGPT. This app is a mixture of Instagram and Pinterest, where you can kind of share photos and videos, but around a theme. The idea is to try to capture some of Pinterest's audience. This is not an ad. This is not a fucking ad. This is leading to the point. This app is number one on the App Store because TikTok is about to get banned. And so this is their other app they're trying to push. That's the fucking point. This is just by ByteDance. This is ByteDance's second app. TikTok made this. And they're worried about the upcoming ban, which it seems like even Trump cannot stop. And so they're trying to get Lemon 8 to the top of the charts, double dip. As far as I can tell, it looks kind of boring, but I'm not a big Instagram user. I'm not a Pinterest user. So for me, it's not for me. If you use both those, I guess check it out and see if it's like, I mean, that's not bad. Don't check it out. I don't give a fuck. Just, I just want to know. I'm just interested if it has legs or if it's like they're artificially promoting it. So it's just a copy of what's different? I don't know. Oh, I do know it's something what's different is that it has the TikTok algorithm. Like it actually uses the exact same TikTok algorithm. That's the fucking thing. So it's like literally.
When can you review our Instagram officially bruised? We have hello underground artists.
I cannot do that, but I appreciate the TTS. I didn't even know that was ready. Let's see. I want to see one example. Actually, they can't share on app on digital, so I can't even see it. Lemon 8. It feels like it's for people who want to see fashion stuff. I'm being honest with you. It seems like fashion and yes, it's very Pinterest coded. Women, basically. If I'm being honest, this feels like an app for women. I'm not seeing, I could be wrong, but, fashion and lifestyle type vibes. Yeah, I guess. Anyway, they're banking on it. So, obviously it's becoming more and more real to TikTok that the ban could actually go through. I mean, let's see. We have a TikTok ban update 10 hours ago from Fox News. Yes. Fair and balanced. I want to hear.
Did not appoint a single justice to the Supreme Court. President-elect Donald Trump has already appointed 3, a third of the court, and very well prosecution. He's given of expression. In an unusual move, Trump filed his own brief with the court, asking them to pause the law so that he can reach some sort of deal that would save TikTok. And the request is not really a legal one. It's not based on the law, but it does put the court in a bit of a pickle, as the ban is set to take effect January 19th, just before Trump takes office on the 20th. TikTok says there are over 150 million users per month in the United States. On top of that, the social media app fuels a billion-dollar creator economy. So joining us now to talk about what a ban would mean for those who rely on TikTok for their income, Bilal Raymond, a 23-year-old creator with over half a million followers
I could never have guessed.
on TikTok. Bilal, thank you for joining us. Can you tell us what a ban would mean for your life and your ability to make a living through this app?
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't just rely on the app for my social media side, but also for my interior design business. I have scaled a huge interior design business over the past 2 years, all thanks to TikTok and the amazing eyes that I get and the reach that I get from that app. So that going away is going to be a huge driver of new business and potential new clients that I otherwise probably wouldn't be able to reach.
TikTok actually clocks the millions of small businesses who claim that they are able to do exactly that, build their client base through the social media app. So how closely are you watching this Supreme Court case? Because, of course, TikTok is suing the federal government, but so are a group of creators just like you who say this violates their right to freedom of expression.
Correct. Yeah, I'm literally watching it minute by minute, sitting on the edge, just waiting to see what happens, because I know that the negative impacts are not only going to affect my business, but like you said, millions of small businesses. And in today's day and age, the world of business has changed so much that we rely on social media as a source to grow and scale our businesses. And without it, like a lot of businesses are going to end up shutting down, and that's going to have very negative effects.
Tell us about the conversation that's happening on the app about the potential ban and the Supreme Court's.
Okay. Did he just put that curl? Well, yeah, I mean, he can style his hair how he wants. Not a problem. El Bozo gravy train is over. Have fun in the Amazon warehouse. Remember yesterday when I said how people talk about creators? Remember how that is literally how people. It's crazy. People don't. They just don't like them on principle, except for the ones they watch. Anyway, I think he's fine. But I think he'd also be fine on YouTube Shorts or whatever. It's not insane. Or fucking Instagram. It's not. Or IG Reels. Yeah. But, obviously, if Trump desperately doesn't want to ban TikTok, then even if it gets banned on the 19th, he'll come into office and reverse it. And he'll be the hero that brought it back. He'll do a whole thing. He'll be like, I saved TikTok, whatever. Big A, there's this TikTok product store that literally opened in Santa Monica last month. It's absolutely cookies, cookies banned on TV. It's called Outlandish. All right, are you promoting something right now? Are you promoting something? I work for a full-time micro creator, and we make way more off shorts and reels than TikTok. It'll be fine. It's just the dumbest argument I've ever. Bro, it's not like I don't disagree with you, but what is that one anecdote? I work for a guy that doesn't make money off TikTok. He'll be fine. Yeah, what? Okay, like, yeah, that's like fucking 8ish coming in here. Yeah, I work for a guy who makes money off YouTube mostly. He'll be fine. We should ban it. It's like, no, I'm sure some people are the opposite. They make most of their money from TikTok. That doesn't mean anything. And by the way, the guy in the video said he was making money from his or his fucking interior design business, which means he probably has a big audience on TikTok that then requests his personal services for interior design, because he's probably doing videos where he fixes houses. Big A, are you going to make a 2025 bingo card? It's all the rage. No, I'm not going to do that. No, Maggies. No. But I will do something else. And that is Get Smarter Saturdays, folks. Get Smarter Saturdays. It is time for our first Get Smarter Saturdays of the new year of 2025. An age-old tradition in the Atrioc stream where we use the power of YouTube to increase the size and the wrinkles of our brain. Chat submits videos that we can learn something from. The rules are simple. Rule number 1, the video cannot be too long. Rule number 2, the video cannot be too boring. And rule number 3, by the end of the video, we have to have learned something. You just posted in chat. It appears right here on the patented Get Smarter Saturdays website. The GameStop Cult and Untold Story. That looks kind of fire. Atrioc on the H1B visa debate. That's a VOD. Hopefully we can get a clip or a main channel video up pretty soon on this, as it's raging right now. Oh, I wanted to watch this so bad. And I said I'll wait and watch it with chat. This video looks so fun. Probably not too much getting smarter, but maybe it is. We're going to watch it. We're going to watch this video. I want to watch this video. This looks really fun. It looks great. I want to watch it. I literally been wanting to watch this, and I saved it for chat. It got recommended to me. It was like right up my fucking alley. We're going to watch this. Okay, here we go. Everybody loves a good underdog story. People often find themselves inspired by narratives where an unlikely participant rises up against all odds and triumphs in the face of adversity. True.
Usually, though, the underdog isn't a literal dog, but I can think of few competitors who have tried and failed more times than the blue dog in The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask.
Fire intro. 25 years to win.
Among the many side quests in the game is a racetrack at the back of Romani Ranch, where the player can select one of 14 dogs to bet on in a race. 4 white, 3 beige,
Bro, I remember this.
3 gray, 2 brown, 1 gold, and 1 ill-fated blue dog. If the dog you pick performs well enough, you'll be rewarded with a piece of heart as the ultimate prize to take home. However, going in blind won't get you very far. In order to truly succeed, you must first obtain the Mask of Truth from the Swamp Spider House, which allows you to hear the inner thoughts of animals. Once acquired, you can use it to see how each dog will perform in the race. Each time you enter the racetrack area, the dogs will randomly be assigned either a good, neutral, or bad condition, indicating how well they can be expected to perform in the race. By using the Mask of Truth to choose a dog with a good condition, the heart piece is easily obtainable within a few attempts. However, this seemingly simple minigame possesses a hidden, secondary mechanic that is never communicated directly by the game. You see, Nintendo coded in a distinct speed stat for each dog color, creating a clearly defined tier list that tells us which dogs are better and which are not so great. If we take a look at the speed values embedded in the code, we can see that each dog color is assigned a pair of numbers. For the sake of brevity, we can...
Do you ever feel sometimes like you're a blue dog in life and that God didn't assign you the right attribute values to succeed? It's like no matter what you do, you're fighting an uphill battle. Feels fucked up, huh? Feels like you got blue dogged.
And mostly ignore the first number. The important number there is the second one in each pair, which represents the speed value of each dog for the last 3 quarters of the race.
Oh, you agree? You think we're assigned attribute values at birth? You're a fucking racist, okay? It's nurture, not nature, you fucking freak. Ban them all, R-dubs. Ban them all.
While the stats are relatively balanced overall, the 2 biggest outliers here are the Gold Dog with a speed value of 6.0 and Blue Dog, whose...
I want to buy a shirt that says I'm the gold dog. It has a picture of the gold dog on it. That's fucking hype. That's a badass shirt. I want a gold dog shirt. That's so sick.
Sits at the bottom with a measly 4.0 speed value. When playing the game, these 2 extremities are easily observed. The Gold Dog, especially if given the good condition, is almost guaranteed to win the race, while the Blue Dog, with its minimal speed value compared to the other dogs, well,
Poor
Blue Dog's
Blue Dog.
liability, or lack thereof, has become the subject of outright infamy among Majora's Mask fans. Over the 25 years since the game's original release, nobody has ever seen Blue Dog come even close to winning the race, with essentially everyone in the community claiming it was outright impossible.
Like a dog, a blue dog.
This chat has a lot of faith in a dog that absolutely 100% cannot win this minigame.
I believe.
But it's okay.
Without a single win under its belt, the legend of Blue Dog has become one of complete and utter failure. So, what's the deal here? Is it truly impossible, or have we just not tried hard enough? Well,
fire
as it
intro.
turns out, there may just be a glimmer of hope for our beloved underdog. Over the last few years, Majora's Mask speedrunners became aware of an extremely rare glitch where a dog can mysteriously win the race around halfway through the track. The source of the glitch is due to a math error in the game's code, where the game performs a check to see if any of the dogs are in the finish line region. The way the game determines the finish line region is by looking at 3 separate regions defined by the differently colored shading shown here. If any dog is in all 3 regions at once, the game deems it on the finish line and having completed the race. You can see that the 3 regions all intersect in this quadrilateral that roughly encompasses where we'd expect the finish line to be, but taking a closer look reveals that the 3 regions all continue to intersect along.
This is the stupidest way of doing it. Why code it like that? Why not just make a fucking region? Why make a box at the finish line?
This line here. Wouldn't you know it, the line runs all the way to the other side of the track, revealing the source of this glitch.
Fine, you do it. I just coded a game by hand myself, including the engine. It's called Get to Work. Maybe you've heard of it. We just sold $20,000 of games in a day. All right? I coded it all myself. I would fix this instantly. I would use C++, and I would get down to the source.
If a dog ever happens to be exactly on this line, the game will see that it's in all 3 regions at once and declare the dog to have finished the race way earlier than any of the other dogs. And this glitch could, in theory, grant Blue Dog the victory we've all been waiting for. But wait, I hear you say, if the line runs all the way across the track, shouldn't this happen all the time? The dogs cross over this line every single race, so what gives? The truth of the matter is that the line is extremely, extremely thin, and the dogs themselves are treated as nothing more than coordinates in a 3D space, that is to say, a single point on the map upon which the game draws the rest of the dog's model. Every frame, the dog will move along the track by having its coordinates shifted a certain distance along the track relative to the dog's speed value. It's easier to visualize if I draw this out in a 2D space. Let's say a line falls exactly here on the racetrack, and a dog comes in moving 5.5 units every frame. It's important to note that the game only evaluates if the dog is in the finish line region once per frame, meaning the only time a dog's position is checked is over these 5.5 unit increments. As a result, in almost all normal instances of the dog race, the dogs hop over the fake finish line region, which is why this glitch rarely ever happens in practice.
I see.
In fact, as of the recording of this video, there are only 4 known instances of this glitch ever occurring within regular gameplay, with the first known instance not occurring until 2018,
That's
a good
wild.
18 years after Majora's Mask
That's
originally
wild.
released. I say known instances because probably there's been more cases over the years, but without sufficient evidence, we have to assume that any prior instances of this occurring happened to someone who didn't know enough about the game to recognize that something special had happened, nor feel the need to recount it for the internet, who would probably just write them off as having an uncle.
That's funny. Wait, late reply, but years ago my brother claimed such a thing happened. He thought it was because he was wearing a specific mask. I can't remember which one. But we could never make it happen again. I thought he was full of it. I guess the joke's on me. That poor kid. No, it's real, I promise. Yeah, right, little bro, you fucking idiot. Sure. The race fucking won halfway.
As having an uncle at Nintendo. For Majora's Mask nerds, it wasn't until the 3rd time, when it happened to speedrunning legend Marco in 2022, that anyone took note of it and began digging into why this glitch occurred.
Alors que j'aurais pu avoir 270. Quoi? D'accord.
Oh, it still finishes it out?
Ok.
Wait, who won?
D'accord, ok. What?
Oh, his hound won. He made a bunch of rupees.
Mais... Hein? Allô?
In Marco's clip, we can observe the 2 key pieces of evidence that the glitch happened. First is that the race end jingle plays way earlier than we expect.
270.
Uh-huh.
Quoi?
Leaving the rest of the race in complete silence. The second is that the game says Marco's pick, the gold dog, got second place despite reaching the actual finish line region before any of the other dogs. But this lines up with what we expect. Some other dog, one of the other 13 anyway, landed on the ethereal line I described before, triggering the end of race jingle early and claiming the coveted first place title from the rest of the dogs who all had to finish the race legitimately.
They still have to finish it. Okay.
With this in mind, let's take a look at the clip of the first known instance of the glitch occurring.
Go, Frankerzy! I don't know what message you had, but hopefully it's a good one. I need him to speed up right about now. Can you speed up? Doesn't look really that fast. Wait! What did the music just do?
His face?
He won, but... What just happened?
Does he not get first?
Oh my god.
Wait, he did win.
That makes no sense. That's the sound, like...
that makes it hard to identify that there's a problem.
That sound it made, it shouldn't make until...
Like, if the dog still wins, you can't tell because it looks like it just cut the music off. You have to have it happen like the French guy to really get it.
You notice what was odd there? Despite the glitch clearly happening with the early race end jingle, Trev's chosen dog is still deemed to have won the race.
Oh, yeah,
this means that not only did Gold Dog finish first legitimately, but it was also the lucky dog that triggered the glitch, meaning it would have won no matter where it ended up finishing at the end of the race. This isn't really relevant to the topic at hand. I don't want to talk about Gold Dog any more than I need to, but this occurrence is just so unbelievably lucky that I had to bring it up in the video. Now, where does this leave us for Blue Dog's chances?
Poor Blue Dog.
Well, initially, our endeavors did not net great results. Earlier this year, I ran a charity fundraiser, attempting over 1,300 races picking Blue Dog, hoping to get the long-awaited victory, but alas, not only did I fail at getting a Blue Dog victory, I wasn't able to get the glitch to occur a single time. It didn't seem completely out of the question. After all, people regularly attempt Pokemon shiny hunts, doing significantly more attempts than this, but without knowing the true odds, it was hard to say if I was really chasing my white whale. After all,
I don't understand Pokemon shiny hunter content creators. No disrespect, but I just don't get it. Do people watch these? Who here watches shiny hunters and likes it? It feels like they just legitimately. It's gambling without money. Yeah, exactly. It's gambling without money. It's just yappers? That makes more sense. So it's a podcast, but you're not watching it, then you're listening to it. It's boring to watch. Doing it is fun. No, it's not. Doing it's not fun. Just gamble like a normal person. Go buy a CSGO skin. It's it's insanely grindy. It's insanely grindy.
Even if the glitch was proven possible, what if the game's parameters only allowed for certain dogs to trigger the glitch? What if there's a finite number of...
You're a grinder, you'd love it? No. That's not what grinding is to me. Because you're not improving. You're not like, oh, I'm failing and getting better. And it's just rolling 1,000 dice until they all come up 6. It's not like,
possible dog races that can happen, and none of them result in Blue Dog triggering the glitch. Well, to answer that question, let's take a moment to talk about the variables that go into the race's outcome. The obvious one is the arrangement of condition the dogs are randomly assigned upon loading the racetrack area, but the second variable is how the game determines randomness through its RNG function. Earlier, I talked about how dogs have specific speed values, and how these speed values are used to determine how far they move along the track each frame.
Okay.
But I glossed over an important detail. Every frame, each dog will have a random fluctuation between -0.5 and +0.5 added to its base speed value. This means, in addition to the condition the dog is assigned, each frame, the game will make 14 calls to the RNG function in order to determine the dog's actual speed for that frame. While explaining the finer details of how RNG functions work is well outside the scope of this video, and there's plenty of
Wait, is it additive? Like, if you get a +0.5 on one frame and then a +0.5 on the next frame, are you now a full unit faster? Or is it they have a base speed and then every frame it goes up? Okay, I see.
Resources out there if you're interested in the topic. The good news is that RNG's role in this race is actually rather simple. Because the race runs automatically, the number of RNG calls the game will make during the race is consistent, and a race that starts on a certain RNG value, assuming the dogs have consistent conditions, will always end in the same result. More simply put, the only RNG value that matters for the dog race is the value on the frame that you start the race. This tangent, of course, is all to derive the answer to the question I asked earlier about how many possible dog races can the game produce. Now that we've established what the possible variable...
So I'm just thinking out loud here. Is there a theoretical race where every single frame, the blue dog gets the max positive value by pure RNG, and every other dog gets the max negative value? Is that...
are, we can come up with the correct answer. Beginning with the dog's conditions, this number is actually smaller than you might think.
Sort of a dream,
because the game will always arrange
run.
it such that 4 dogs have the good condition, 5 have the neutral condition, and 5 have the bad condition. This means that the total possible number of distribution you can have for these conditions is 252,252. Okay, it's pretty big, but it's a start. Now for the number of possible RNG values, well, the RNG value in Majora's Mask is stored in memory as a float 32, which is a fancy way of saying the game allocates 32 bits in order to represent the different values it can contain. This means that there are 2 to the power of 32 possible RNG values, which is roughly 4.3 billion. Oh, and it gets worse because with the dog's conditions in play, we get to multiply one big number by a significantly bigger number and arrive at our answer. There are 1,414,414,90,350,592 possible dog races that the game can produce. Okay, so that's a lot.
Okay.
But there's good news and
So you're
bad news
saying
with
there's
this
a
number.
chance, yeah.
The good news is that with so many different dog race possibilities, surely at least some of them result in Blue Dog triggering the glitch, right?
Surely.
The bad news? Realistically, we are never, ever going to get even close to this many attempts at the dog race. If I were to trigger a new dog race every second, it would take me 34 million years to reach that many attempts. Needless to say, you'd have to be a madman to even attempt this sort of thing. And that's when I heard from a user named Falkush, who had seen one of my prior videos on the Blue Dog subject, and got inspired to try and get a victory for himself. However, his approach differed from just loading up the game and running races in real time like I had done. Falkush had a different, but more intricate idea in mind. He had also taken inspiration from previous efforts to brute force the Mario Party minigame A Day at the Races, which, coincidentally, is also a race minigame where you choose between different competitors who have different base speed values and different random conditions. Anyway, he had wrote up a script to brute force the dog race with an emulator. Using the information discussed earlier about how the RNG values affect the dog race, this script would make a save state just before pressing A to initiate the race, then run the race at a much faster speed because you could do that with an emulator.
Okay.
And then after the race had concluded, the script would reload the save state, advance the game by 1 frame in order to change the RNG value, make a new save state, and run the race with that brand new RNG value and a brand new outcome. And how would he determine if Blue Dog had won? At first, I thought he was using a memory viewer to look at which dog had won, but it was in fact a much simpler approach. Falkush used an auto splitter, which is normally used for speedrunning console games to look for certain key frames and send commands to your splitting program. But here, he had cleverly leveraged it to look at the first section of the text displayed after the race. The dog race lady has unique dialogue for your dog getting first, second, third through fifth, and sixth or worse. So the auto splitter would look for one of these unique dialogue strings and record the race result so that he could observe it later. It would also record the number of frames the script waited before starting the race so that he could manually load up the initial save and reproduce the race at a normal speed later on. So with this implemented, would this be enough to finally achieve a Blue Dog win? Well, after running the script for 3 days almost non-stop, generating 8,410 races, this happened.
Oh, and then Blue Dog got this run. That's not that many races, 8,410. Look at him go! Look at him go! Holy! Oh, they're catching up to him. Oh, they're catching up to him. Come on, Blue Dog! Get fucked. He wins early. Yeah, that's a pretty respectable race, even legit. Even legit, he did pretty good. Smoked Gold Dog.
Can you believe it? The world's first ever Blue Dog victory. All thanks to the tiniest oversight in the code allowing for an early win. And with Falkush's effort to automate attempts, given the total number of possible races I discussed earlier, the fact that it only took around 8,000 attempts shows that the glitch might be more common than previously thought. And remember, this glitch isn't exclusive to Blue Dog. Although he didn't have an automated way to track the frequency of the glitch happening to any of the other dogs, he estimates that it has around a 1 in 1,000 chance of happening, and he did see it occur a few additional times.
Isn't that insanely lucky? If it's 1 in 1,000 to get the glitch on any dog, and he got it on the Blue Dog in 8,000 attempts, that's crazy lucky.
Through continued attempts. As a bonus, he included a clip he saw of Blue Dog getting a legitimate 4th place, which, to both of our knowledge, was the best we've ever seen our boy do outside of the glitch. And in his video description, he proclaimed a question.
4th place is pretty good
Can
for
the
the
Blue Dog
Dog
get better than 4th place without the glitch? Well, as it turns out, the story doesn't end here. Falkush was determined to figure out just how good the Blue Dog could perform without the glitch in play, and he had an idea of how to make this happen. Remember at the start of the video, I talked about how each dog had a predetermined base speed value that outlines its overall viability in the race?
Yeah.
Well, Falkush had the idea to use this information to min-max the dog's conditions based on their speed, and thus generate optimal conditions for the blue dog. In simpler words, blue dog had to have the good condition, and the fastest overall dogs needed to have bad or neutral conditions.
Right.
The result maximizes blue dog's chances for a victory. He again used a script to automate loading the racetrack area, look at each of the dog's conditions in memory, and reload it until it was arranged in a way that it was determined to be optimal for blue dog. I was initially skeptical, but 1 week after he sent me the first video, he messaged me again with a new video. Blue dog, second place, glitchless. Yes, indeed. He was able to find a way to get a legitimate second place finish for blue dog using this min-max strategy. Given this result, Falkush was convinced that a legitimate first place finish could happen.
No way.
At this point, he was running his automated script on 2 separate computers, generating about 4,000 races per day on each machine. He was able to produce another second place finish, a third second place finish. Seeing these gave him hope that a first place was somehow possible. After all this time, with virtually every top-level Majora's Mask player claiming that Blue Dog could never win the race, was it a myth this whole time? Surely, with how many people have attempted the race.
Some people use their PCs to mine Bitcoin. Some use it to do work. This guy reproduces tens of millions of Blue Dog races to find the one universe where it wins. Okay, he is a hero.
Over the years, we would have seen this at least once by now, right? Well, on the evening of August 25th, 2024, this happened.
And then Blue Dog got this run. Amazing start. Amazing start. Blue Dog off the race. Now, as per usual, he gets caught around the first lap. From the first third. But he's maintaining a solid third place. Oh my God, this hound could do it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blue Dog did it! Holy shit, he's got the inside line.
And there you have it. After 30,000 total attempts, we have undeniable proof that, given the right conditions and enough dedication, it is indeed possible for Blue Dog to win the race legitimately. Perhaps it's entirely unlikely that a real human being will produce this under a real-time context, but that's besides the point.
That's not the point.
Blue Dog has spent his whole life being the laughing stock of the dog race minigame, and Majora's Mask players as a whole. But after all this time, we can bask in the glory of the ultimate underdog finally receiving the victory he's been waiting 25 years to achieve.
That's a fire video. That was a fire video. Whose video was that? Vidya James. 19K subscribers. That's crazy. Subscribe. This is an incredible channel. That's awesome. What an incredible video. 2.5 million in 8 days. That was super duper fun. Wow, kind of wild, dude. The last video was Harvest Moon Magical Melody, 1.3K views, and then that's fire. Good for them. Incredibly well made story, incredibly well made video. That's so cool. Really fun to watch. I remember that race when I was a kid. I did. Dun, 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 dun. Ba, 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 ba. What is another video to watch? The U.S. stock market is in the biggest bubble in history. The entire economy is at risk. I'm trying to watch Atrioc's channel here. How fascism took over Roblox, a documentary. Now that's a thumbnail. I gotta be honest with you, that is a fucking thumbnail. The That's so funny. But I'm looking for something a little shorter, to be honest. TSMC Arizona Fab. We've talked about this. We can see it. The worst esports experiment ever. Evil Geniuses. I don't think it's the worst, but a lot of people have teams like this where they waste a lot of money. Why 90% of fight scenes are bad and why 10% are good. Maybe. I like talking about fight scenes. South Korea is a dystopia by Fern. I think we've watched some Fern videos we liked. They own it all. I feel like this video's been made like 100 times though. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't seen it. I feel like this video's been made so many times, and they basically just read the definition of chaebols. They just say, hey, there's these big South Korean companies that have a lot of money and power, and then and then it gets millions of views, and they just do it over and over again. I don't know why. That's the video? Okay. I'm not super duper interested. The text file that almost ruined Valve's trading economy several times. How they made Hagrid big. What are you talking about? He's part giant. Even a muggle should know that. Paul E.T. Stupid. The most genius kidnapping in history. That could be kind of cool. The most genius kidnapping in history? Could be interesting. What no one wants to admit about comic book sales? Oh, there's something I don't want to admit about comic book sales. I promise you. There's nothing I'm holding back that I can't possibly admit about comic book sales. Whatever you say, I'll probably be down with it. The bizarre world of North Korean influencers. Okay, that does sound interesting, Fern. I gotta know about it. 10 minutes? Check it out.
This is Song A. She's an influencer. She tells stories about her everyday life, using an over-the-top British accent.
Hello everyone.
Sometimes she goes hiking.
Nice to see you again.
Sometimes she cooks.
I think that something's missing.
All pretty normal. But there's one thing that makes Song A stand out. She's from North Korea.
Can you guess where I am right now? Everything is under control as it used to be, and everyone is just fine.
Oh, awesome.
This all seems a bit odd.
There goes the bell. I gotta go. I come in spring to look at the flowers, so cheer up.
And she is by no means the only North Korean influencer.
When I met you,
Good morning.
come visit North Korea.
Hi everyone.
Do you guys think I could do this for money? I feel like it'd be kind of a fun gig for me. Do you think they'd pay me to like go out to North Korea and just like, wow, it's actually really great. It's actually awesome in a way. Like I almost feel like living in the West is kind of stupid and decadent and part of our global downfall. Now that I've seen how well run the society is in Pyongyang.
How embarrassing.
What is going on here? In the last few years, more and more social media channels have been popping up that give us a glimpse into what North Korea is actually like. Well, allegedly.
I'm going to show you the changing appearance of Pyongyang and people's daily life as well as mine. There are so many different
What the fuck? Why am I living in stupid America when I can go to Pyongyang and get so many ice creams in different color, shape, and flavor?
A lot of North Korean content goes viral, especially on TikTok. Finally, the world gets to see a different side of this mysterious country. The beautiful beaches, for example.
The North Korea they don't show you.
The full refrigerators, where you can even find bananas.
Banana.
Or how beautiful the capital is, lit up at night. They show people strolling down the street, enjoying a beer in a bar, or snacking on fast food. The good life.
It tastes so much better than McDonald's.
Enjoying a beer in a bar, or snacking on...
Just ripped off the branding.
on fast food. The good life.
All North Koreans have cars.
The video
probably does, by the way. I hate to break it to you Americans. I'm American too. I hate to break it to fellow Americans. It doesn't make sense because we invented fucking fast food. But if you go to like a Burger King in fucking Denmark, it's better. It's better. It tastes better. The fries are better. It's crisper. It's fucked up. Why? It's our thing. It's our fucking fast food in here it should taste like the fucking world. It should taste so good, but it's worse. It's a real letdown. Now, well, we'll say this. The exception to this rule, in my experience, is number one, Taco Bell is better in America than it is in other countries. I don't know why that is, but it is. They don't do Taco Bell right. It's worse. And number two is a lot of the chicken places. You can often, like Popeye. A Popeye's chicken sandwich in America is as good. I'm not going to say necessarily better, but there's no difference. Maybe even better. And Raising Cane's is really good. Chick-fil-A is good. In-N-Out is good. But the big McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, they are all better outside of America.
How the fuck do you beat Hiroto Estate Sekiro? I hate this game Alamar WTF.
You paid money for that? Go watch the fucking video where I beat it. I have a video uploaded where I just fucking...
Feels like this one gain over.
Why are you getting fast food when you visit other countries? When I'm gonna eat their fucking food? Gross. I'm American, okay, not an idiot. I'm gonna look for McDonald's. I'm gonna look for the big fucking golden arches so I know it's actually fucking flavorful and intelligent. I know the money needs to go to an American company. Insane of you to say that. I'm gonna find some kind of like local person in Japan and enjoy their fucking cuisine. Ugh. No. I'm going to get McDonald's every day, 3 times a day.
Over 40 million views. The channels are supposedly run by locals, living in the beautiful DPRK, proud citizen of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. But wait a second. How can these channels even post their videos from North Korea?
Also in Nordkorea gibt es zwar ein Intranet und da gibt es auch diverse Apps und so weiter, also ganz hinterm Mond sind die nicht. Aber die haben kein Internet.
This is Dr. Rüdiger Frank. He's a professor of East Asian Studies at the University of Vienna and has been studying North Korea for over 30 years. Ordinary citizens in North Korea don't have access to our normal internet. Only a few thousand of the 25 million inhabitants have this privilege.
Also letztlich so gut wie gar niemand.
And even those have only limited access. So it's very unlikely that an ordinary citizen in North Korea would record these videos and post them online on TikTok. It makes you wonder who is actually running these accounts. Anyone duped by these videos could probably spend some time improving their critical thinking skills. Luckily, there's an app that helps you do just that. Brilliant is an interactive learning platform.
Check it out, brilliant.com/fern. It'll make you guaranteed smart, and it's free for 30 days.
Plus, enjoy 20%
brilliant.org/fern. Check it out,
discount on an annual premium subscription. Let's take a closer look at Song A's account.
I'm Song A from Pyongyang. I'm 11 years old and 5th year in the primary school.
Her channel was founded in January 2022. With her videos, she wants to showcase what life is like in North Korea to her more than 30,000 curious foreign viewers.
Pyongyang, where I live, is a very beautiful and magnificent city. have you ever been to Pyongyang? Well, if you come here, you'll be totally surprised because literally wherever you go, there are amusement parks.
Her content should probably have a certain feel-good quality, like this.
How can you run a city like that? Wherever you go in the entire city, there's amusement parks? That's awesome.
This trip to a water park with her friend. In this episode, Song-A takes us with her on her first day at a new school. Later, she takes us along on a trip to a children's hospital, but she's not there because she needs medical assistance.
However, my heart was pumping with the desire of going to the only children's hospital. Oh, how I wish I could stay here and play all day.
Song-A's videos don't feel authentic. It's like she's reciting lines by heart.
As you can see, this is my school, Yusong Junior Middle School. Already, I can feel that I have both time here for 3 years.
Second, I have studied well and got a certificate.
Her movements seem studied.
I wish with all my little heart that you all, like us, would overcome these harsh difficulties.
She doesn't even seem like a normal 11-year-old. The fact that she speaks fluent British English is allegedly thanks to her mother. She taught it to Song-A from a very young age. But Song-A leaves out a few important details. She is not just any kid growing up in North Korea. She's the daughter of a North Korean diplomat. She spent part of her childhood.
You know what's really sad, though? Is that because she's constrained by the economic opportunities of North Korea, she can only be a 30,000 subscriber child influencer. But if we were to get her to Southern California, her ass could have 100 million subscribers opening toys, doing animated shows. She could be part of Pocket.Watch. It's an insane fucking loss to the global economy. H1B, yeah.
Growing up in North Korea, she's the daughter of a North Korean diplomat. She spent part of her childhood in England. She's the granddaughter of the vice foreign minister and great-granddaughter of the former supreme military commander of North Korea. Her family belongs to the elite and is close to the ruling Kim family. A media company run by the North Korean state has allegedly been publishing content on social media platforms since 2017. According to research by the portal NK News, Song-A is part of these
She loves Harry Potter? But maybe she's based. She's the great-granddaughter of a top military commander.
Propaganda productions, and her channel is just one of many. There's the YouTube channel Echo of Truth with Un-A, which has since been deleted.
Hello, my dear friends. I wish this beautiful April day could cheer you up a little bit.
Or Olivia Natasha, Yumi Space DPRK Daily, also deleted.
And now, you might be wondering, the owners of this splendid new flat bar. Believe me or not, houses here are given to ordinary working people free of charge.
Holy shit!
However, it's hard to say whether all of these accounts about North Korea are all state-sponsored propaganda. Zoe Discovers, for example, works for a British tourism company in China, Koryo Tours, and Yang Waishi.
Do you think when they take satellite images like this that show the massive gap in electricity between North Korea and South Korea, it's just because everyone in North Korea is polite enough to turn their lights off at night? Do you think maybe they actually just don't like light pollution and so at night they all turn them off? That must be it. That makes so much more sense now that I've had my eyes opened. They just have a good sleep schedule. Unlike the degenerates in South Korea who stay up all night gambling and opening gacha games. The DPRK's population are all stargazers. They appreciate a good night sky. Yeah, they like to check out from the phone once in a while and actually talk to each other. Sue me.
First trips to North Korea. In over 200 videos on her YouTube channel and on TikTok, she shows us the beautiful sides of the country. She visits North Korean festivals, goes skiing, or shows us how North Korean families live.
Are you happy to be going back to Pyongyang?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
According to her own statements, she does not receive anything in return for her content. It is not a propaganda account, and not sponsored by the North Korean government. We were unable to verify this, however.
Gerade wenn die länger bestehen und wenn die professionell gemacht sind, kann man schon davon ausgehen, dass das mit Billigung des Staates passiert und das würde also für uns definitiv unter Propaganda fallen.
So her content might be actively tolerated because it paints a favorable picture, even if she might produce it independently. North Korea loves propaganda, on state television, on giant screens projected onto hotel walls, or as action movies.
The commercial with the missile's badass.
Kim Jong-un was not democratically elected. His rule is based solely on ideology. Somehow, he has to legitimize that power.
Die Legitimation in solchen Systemen wie in Nordkorea läuft in ganz wesentlichen Teilen über die Propaganda.
This applies both within and outside the country. Everything found on social media is propaganda meant for the outside world. Of course, because North Koreans don't have the internet. That content is primarily intended to prove how well the country is doing. Life in North Korea is supposedly not as miserable as the Western media make it out to be.
North Korea.
They got ice
Quite
cream.
the opposite.
That's all I need to know.
Just take a look. North Korea has great schools, hospitals, better fast food than McDonald's, and even banana. Just to be clear, the truth is that there is virtually no prosperity in North Korea. 60% of all North Koreans live in absolute poverty. It is one of the poorest countries in the world. These videos are aimed at people in the West,
I'm not seeing
but
enough
according to Professor
ice cream or
Funk,
banana in those
also
photos.
at Japanese, Chinese, and above all, South Koreans. And depending on the target group, the aim of the propaganda on social media might differ. With regard to South Korea, there is a very specific, long-term goal: a united Korea in line with North Korean ideals. To do this, the North presents itself as strong and proud vis-a-vis the hostile South. The regime generally accuses the South of being the exact opposite, a richer but weaker country due to American influence. Not real Koreans, so to speak. North Korea, on the other hand, is the place to be for real Koreans in that logic. Of course, South Korea doesn't like this at all. There is a serious concern that citizens will fall for this narrative and become receptive to the North Korean ideology. The country takes the propaganda on social media very seriously and blocks it for its own population.
Das heißt, wenn man in Südkorea irgendwo was Nordkoreanisches sehen will, geht das nicht. Da kommt sofort irgendwo eine ominöse Nachricht da auf den Screen und wenn man das zu oft versucht, kriegt man auch direkt mal eine Nachfrage vom südkoreanischen Geheimdienst. Was machst du da eigentlich?
Song-A's YouTube channel has been blocked in South Korea. YouTube has also deleted the channel for violating the company's guidelines. North Korea will probably try again. The propaganda often comes across as rather clumsy and flat, but social media is great for reaching a lot of people despite low production expenses.
True.
The homemade aesthetic of the videos blends in particularly well on TikTok. It is not surprising that videos about North Korea have captured so much attention. The country is completely isolated from the rest of the world. You rarely find out what everyday life is like for real citizens. When a video like this appears in the feed, a lot of people are captivated. It's unfortunate that this very desire to simply learn more about this strange place and its people is so strategically exploited and perverted.
All right, let's figure it out ourselves. Chat, I'm talking about a chat-wide field trip, Atrioc community to North Korea. We're all going to go. We're all going to go and we're going to get to the bottom of it ourselves. And we're all going to live there for a year in Pyongyang. We'll get apartments. They're free, by the way. And we'll get ice cream and we'll get banana. And we'll make Minions jokes. And if they don't get that, we'll explain it. And it'll be really fun. In fact, if they haven't seen Despicable Me, we could make our own Despicable Me and get rich in North Korea. This is all a really good idea.
Which is something that YouTubers luckily never do. The real North Korea continues to be largely withheld from us because a cruel regime has absolutely no interest in nuanced truth.
Interesting. Chat, here's the tea, sisters. I think I'm going to end my stream. And I know it's early and I know it's fucked up. I have so much to do and I want to get it done by Monday. I'm sorry. Maybe one more video. Let me check. No, I really should end. I got a lot to do. And I really want to hit it for Monday. It's the first Monday of the year. And so I'm going to end. I'm going to work. Godspeed. God bless. I apologize for the early end, but I am live, on time, and on budget. Oh, wait, new salmonella? We'll watch that. There's a brand new salmonella? Oh, did we already watch this? Did we already watch this or no? Fuck it, let's watch it. Okay. Pliny explains
Hey,
it all.
persons of age. So, long before the era of the wiki, there used to be these things called encyclopedias, where for a small fee of thousands of dollars, they would mail you a tiny fraction of the knowledge we have access to today, and you could put it on a shelf, and it would sit there and make you look learned. But while not reading an encyclopedia is easy, not creating one is much easier, and yet we do it. Encyclopedia Britannica is still in circulation today, and it's maintained by around 100 full-time editors and more than 4,000 contributors. So whose idea was this? Who was the first person to sit...
It's funny. You'd think the Britannica business model doesn't make any sense, right? Because everyone has Wikipedia now, and these are all outdated. Who's going to buy a fucking set of 1,000 books? The truth is, they make some money off selling the books to libraries, institutions, or whatever. They make a ton of money off selling the full-time edited data to AI companies. They've become like a partial AI training company and made a ton of fucking money. It's like extremely profitable. Yeah, it's wild. Because good quality input data is what AI craves. And so they have that here in spades and they sell it. And, anyway, wild.
Editors and more than 4,000 contributors. So whose idea was this? Who was the first person to sit down and say, today I feel like writing down everything? To answer that, we must look nearly 2,000 years in the past, to the mid-70s AD. Pliny the Elder, author, philosopher, veteran, imperial administrator, and one curious buckaroo. Early in his life, Pliny's father took him to Rome to study law. Then, as a young adult, he spent several years as a junior officer in the Roman military. His interest in literature made him a few high-ranking friends there, and when he came home, he took to writing. Unfortunately, a certain apocryphal fiddler was in charge at the time, who wasn't exactly kind to intellectuals. So Pliny kept it on the DL, mostly writing about things like grammar and rhetoric, which at the time few people found worth freaking out over. Fortunately, in June of 68, Nero finally took a hint and killed himself, and following the chaos of the Year of the Four Emperors, one Vespasian came out on top. Vespasian was a general and a friend of Pliny's, so when he became emperor, he promoted Pliny to procurator, which was like the governor of a province. Suddenly, with this guy on the throne and a cushy job to pay the bills, Pliny found himself in a position to make complete use of his own potential. By day, he continued his administrative duties, but during nights, he wrote. And over the course of a few years, with nothing but his own wits and whatever authors he could get his hands on, he created a work known as the Historia Naturalis. This consisted of 37 books, each broken up into many dozens of chapters, covering just about every topic there is. While it wasn't quite an encyclopedia in the
Bro, the first autistic Wikipedia editor. Oh, sorry, I have to say one thing. Yesterday, I said, wouldn't it be funny if it turns out Connor Eats Pants is just bullying an autistic guy that loves Elon? It turns out that's probably true. It's just some weird dude from Fiji who has literally studied Elon Musk's voice and is emulating him and reads all his posts and wants to be him. And Connor Eats Pants just kind of bullied him. And the guy's a total nut job. Yeah. No, it is. It's true. It's a guy from Fiji. It's really sad. But yeah, it's the guy. It turns out the guy, the thing that threw me is the guy kept saying, I'm not Elon. So I thought the guy didn't want to be called Elon, which means it was probably Elon. But really, this guy wants to be called Elon. He's just playing into the bait. Like he loves it. He wouldn't have any attention if people didn't think he was Elon. That's how he gets invited on podcasts and gets to host a show, and he wants to be Elon. Proof? Okay, fine. I'll show you proof. This is the guy. This is the guy right here. This article just did all the fucking digging. They tracked it down. They looked at old social media posts. They put it all together. They found, at one point, there's a time when he's on a phone call talking about how it's raining and where he's walking. And they looked at the exact time in Fiji that it was raining at the exact time. It all lined up with this guy being in Fiji and his guy's name actually being Adrian Dittman, a national from Fiji that loves Elon Musk. It's this guy. By the way, if you show me this photo, like this guy hates pop culture, loves Elon Musk, thinks women are low value. It all makes sense. But this guy, but the problem is when he says, I'm not Elon Musk, he's doing it because he knows people will think he's Elon Musk after that. He wants the attention. It all makes more sense now. This guy wants to become, he's practicing the intonation. Anyway, there you go. This is the guy. Adrian Dittman. His parents apparently are wealthy. That's where he has any money, which is crazy. He talks about how smart he is and how he... his parents have money, and they're big Tesla fans and own a Tesla. They own some kind of factory in Fiji. That's the fucking story of it. There he is right there. With his parents at the factory. Okay?
And Mrs. Silky.
There he is right there. That's fucking Adrian Dittman. And all the posts that like prove this, he went back and started deleting, including Facebook posts that had his actual face in it that have now been deleted since this article got written. No, this is pretty open and shut now that you've seen this, I think. Now, it's possible that Musk has DM'd him and they've worked on some way to troll the public and worked, I don't know, but this is the guy. Which makes more sense because the biggest confusion about yesterday was why he didn't leave. Why the fuck would he not leave the call? You know, the real Elon Musk left an interview with Don Lemon once he said, hey, he said like one slightly soft criticism about Tesla. Why did he have admin rights on X? I believe it was faked. I believe that image was faked. Yeah, it's disappointing. But anyway, that's the fucking long and short of it. This guy's a real weirdo, but that's who got made fun of. That does mean that Elon Musk was actively searching for every single post complimenting him as a father and mentioning Tesla and anything positive and then responding to them all. Of his own volition. Which is also embarrassing because Elon Musk has responded to like every fucking post this guy made, even when he had fucking 2 followers. But there you go. Anyway, we're in the middle of this video, but I wanted to show it.
Modern sense, it's still the earliest surviving attempt at an all-encompassing scholarly work, and it is a trip. I've been reading it. It is fascinating, not only as a reflection of what people did and did not know in the Roman Empire, but also as a reflection of Pliny himself, who is a character and who made zero attempt to hide it. So today, I come to you with a brief summary of the first part of a brief summary of all human knowledge according to one dude circa 77 AD. Now, the original thing makes for a fairly long read, even removing most of the more uninteresting details.
It is funny to imagine like if Wikipedia was written by one dude and it was just his opinion. It's like if you go to a music artist and he doesn't like them, it's like, they kind of suck. They weren't very good. They had a short career. The Beatles were all right. They had some hits, but whatever.
Only managed to fit the first 2 books into today's video. As for the other 35, we'll see. I'm gonna let Pliny do the narration himself using my voice. He gets a lot of things shockingly right and a lot shockingly wrong. Rather than constantly chiming in with fact checks, I'm just gonna throw chess.com analysis icons in the corner for every claim he makes. I'll also provide relevant snippets of the actual text I'm paraphrasing just for reference. If you're one of the people who likes to pause the video just to see the funny ha-has I snuck into the freeze frame, rest assured there will be none today. You can just let it play. One last warning, while there is a loose overall structure to this thing, it also seems like Pliny just kind of wrote whatever was in his head for a given chapter. He has a habit of jumping back and forth between completely disparate topics and going on weird personal tangents in between. I am presenting this thing in the exact order it's written, so if
he's the original streamer! Oh my god, I'm invested now. Pliny, you're a goat.
At any point seems utterly scatterbrained, it's his fault, not mine. Anyway, take it away. Yo. Right, let me get right ahead of things. These books are strictly about this world and the things we can see around it. If you're one of those madmen who think there are other worlds beyond this one, give it a rest, all right? That's psychotic. You can't know these things, and you can't grasp infinity. Stop trying, you'll hurt yourself. So the heavens are a perfect sphere, and they spin around us perfectly. It takes 24 hours for them to do one spin, which is actually really fast because the universe is huge. In fact, massive objects all whooshing around us this fast should be incredibly loud at all times. Why isn't this the case? The whole shebang is composed of 4 elements, right, which sort themselves by weight. Earth is heaviest, so it falls to the middle of everything, into a sphere, and it stays still. It's the only still thing. On top of that is water, then air, and fire's the lightest, which is why the sun and stars are made of it. The sun kicks ass, easily the best of the 7 things up there. Basically a god. Not literally. Don't try to answer questions about God's nature, by the way. You'll just confuse yourself. There's at most one God, and he's everything, and he doesn't do weird human shit like getting jealous or banging other gods. I swear, people just make up new gods every time they want something specific. Let me tell you, there was a temple on Palatine Hill dedicated, through my tax dollars, by the way, to fever, like the illness. You understand that's bad shit, right? Things like that are why we've got more gods than people at this point. Folks in other countries worship animals and obscene things like stinking meats. There are gods of theft and other crimes. It's all folly. You want to be godly? Just help others. That's the way of the old Roman nobles, and that's the way of the noblest noble of all, Emperor Vespasian Augustus, who may or may not be my best buddy. But anyway, if there is a god, he doesn't care about what you do. People put crazy emphasis on the religion, avoiding foods, worrying themselves sick about all kinds of sacred rules. Look, I hang around the Capitol. There's a lot of rat bastards in politics, real scumbags, and they are thriving. You don't need to torture yourself. Have a bacon. Nobody gives a shit. Back to the stars, which, by the way, also don't give a shit about you specifically. For big history-changing stuff, yeah, they'll act up, but you, reader, do not need to worry. Anyway, most of them are fixed in a sphere really high up there. We'll call this the heavens. Between the heavens and the earth, there are 7 other bodies to talk about. Highest up there, we got Saturn, then there's Jupiter, Mars, the Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon. The heavens spin to the right, all these guys spin to the left. Saturn is cold, Mars is hot, but Jupiter's just right. The sun's orbit is made up of 360 degrees, 1 degree per day, except not quite. We have
it's funny just to make some of that stuff up. just fucking toss it out there. Who's gonna check? Who's gonna fucking check? I'm like half the people that can write.
to add 5 1/4 days or else our sundials break. Down to Venus and Mercury, these guys are weird because they like to hang around the sun. Fun fact, Venus is actually bright enough to help out the sun and moon sometimes. When it's helping the sun, we call it Lucifer, the light bringer. And when it's helping the moon, we call it Vesper, the sleepy time guy. Mercury tries to do the same thing, but he's much more lame and cringe, so he can't. The moon's got phases, as you know, and she gets closer and farther away at different times. And Daimion figured out lots of cool info about the moon's orbit, and you assholes bullied him for it. Yeah. This man unraveled the secrets of the universe, and in return, everyone goes, oh ho ho, he's in love with the moon. That's because humans are sick in the head. They'd rather read stories about bloodshed and massacres like that matters more than the fabric of reality. Get a clue. Anyway, the moon has phases because of the way it borrows light from the sun, which might be what these other guys do too, we don't know yet. All those spots on it are actually puddles because it likes to draw up moisture from the earth, which is where we get the tides. And every now and then, it casts its shadow on earth. We call these eclipses, and they are freaking wicked. Eclipses can happen the other way around too, and the way these happen prove that the moon is bigger than the earth and the sun's way bigger than both of them. Oh, and just so we're clear, eclipses are a natural thing. It's not the apocalypse or God's wrath. They follow rules. Even the Greeks could predict them. Settle down. Back to the planets. They're all kind of in the same belt up there, and they all get farther and closer to us at different points because their orbits are complicated. They mostly follow the same rules as each other, but there's some goofiness, like the ones further than the sun move the slowest when they're the farthest away from us, but the closer ones move the quickest then. We can chalk this up to the sun emitting vapors that must push them around in weird ways. Thunderbolts come from Jupiter, and we don't know why. One theory is that it's because Saturn is very moist and Mars is very...
Wait, I want to see what he actually says. That's so funny. Received the name of thunderbolts. Proceed from the 3 superior stars. From the ones. That's funny.
Jupiter, and we don't know why. One theory is that it's because Saturn is very moist and Mars is very fiery, and when they meet in the middle, we get celestial fire thrown down at us. Same reason a wet log crackles and throws off embers in a fire. There is a type of star that moves around and vanishes. We call these comets, and they come in all kinds of flavors. These might actually be omens. I mean, there have been some weird coincidences. Some people think comets are permanent, and we only see them when they swing by the right way, while others say they're just flare-ups of celestial vapor that dissipate on their own. Now to talk about some real anomalies, things we've only rarely seen. The sun goes dim.
It's so funny to be in your first chapter like, hey, all this God stuff, like if he's real, he's everything. Don't look for it in your everyday life. It's not religion's all fucking hoax, it's stupid. And then, except for comets. Those are omens, those are signs of God. It's too freaky to ignore.
Sometimes, like when Caesar got killed. Matter of fact, during the Civil War with Mark Antony, it stayed dim for like a year. Multiple suns have been seen at the same time on several occasions, but no more than 3. 3's the record. Same with moons. One time, a burning shield darted across the sky, throwing sparks as it went. Another time, someone saw a shooting star fly towards us until it was as big as the moon, and then it turned around and went back to being a normal comet. Side note, even the translator was like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Finally, there are the stars Castor and Pollux. If you see both of them, it's good luck, but be advised, if one's alone, he turns into a little bastard. He can and will come down and set your boat on fire.
Yeah,
that's the celestial sphere taken care of. Now let's move down a peg to the air. The air ends way before the moon, and it mixes with water vapor to create the weather. The sun dries up water on the earth, it goes up and turns into clouds, and then it's pushed back down again by the, the star forces that keep stuff on earth. We get rain and hail and such, and it keeps going round and round like some kind of water cycle. The seasons go around once a year, and we don't know exactly why, but it definitely has to do with the motion of the stars. Like some are wet or dry, hot or cold, and that influences the climate when they move. Especially Saturn, he always soaks the place going by. He's a freak, like actually. Oh, I almost forgot the dog star. This guy's nuts. It kindles the sun's vapors, and when it rises, the ocean gets upset, wine ferments, and stagnant waters are set in motion. And there's a creature called the oryx in Egypt, and when the dog star goes up, they look at it and they sneeze out of worship. It also makes dogs go rabid, hence the name. But the stars and the seasons they create have profound effects on nature, and it's not just the weather changes that do it. Some flora and fauna have weird links to the heavens. Pelagium blooms right on the winter solstice, even when hung up to dry in the house. And heliotrope follows the sun, even when it's cloudy. The moon makes oysters bigger and ants lazier, and diseases in the eyes of livestock will grow and diminish based on its phase. That's just a few examples. Hey, let's talk about the winds. The ancient Greeks have published a lot of great observations about the winds. Those were warish, disconnected times, which makes their work all the more impressive. Nowadays, in this great piece, every shore of this sea welcomes Romans. And what are we doing? When's the last time we sent anybody out to investigate this world with inquiry in their heart? Plenty of expeditions, sure, but that's just because you got some shit to sell. Rather than pursue science that could benefit all of mankind, you're hawking olives in Byzantium just to watch your abacus go up. Greed. But anyway, how many winds are there? The ancients recognized 4, but that's clearly not enough. The next generation overcorrected, brought it up to 12, and shit got messy and elegant. So today, us modern folk take the middle of the road with a nice even 8 total. 2 for each quarter of the heavens, and they've got a bunch of fun names. And yeah, if we wanted to add in the old reject winds, we could. And there's even a couple extra secret winds only recognized by a select few. Plus, there's certain winds that only blow in certain regions of the world, but broad strokes, 8'll do you fine. These winds each blow at their various allotted times of the year, and the winter ones make for particularly rough seas. In former times, pirates were compelled by the fear of death to rush into death and to brave the winter ocean. Now we are driven to it by avarice. Direction isn't the only difference between the winds, though. They can all be characterized by their temperature, their moisture, and the kind of weather they tend to bring. Volturnus is dry, Septentrio brings snow and hail, Auster is sultry, Aquilo is the most healthy. Real motley crew, those winds. But while those guys are generally pretty calm, we must also consider the sudden, violent gusts we call storms. Storms are self-contained events that come in a few flavors themselves, like Eknephius, which brings thunder and lightning, or Typhon, which doesn't. Certain storms...
It's just crazy that a bro wrote fan fiction about the world, and for his time, everyone just buys it. Everyone just goes, yeah, this is facts. This is the smartest thing we have.
Storms also give rise to whirlwinds, which are these giant, loud pillars of wind and moisture that destroy everything in their path. They are so dense that they can actually support themselves on the ground, and if they happen over the sea, they suck up the water as they go. Thunderstorms produce lightning, and lightning is crazy. It has this unique property where it can damage things on the inside while leaving the outside unharmed. It can empty casks of their wine without breaking the vessel itself, and it can melt gold and silver without burning the bag they're in. One time, a noblewoman named Marcia was struck by lightning while pregnant, and while the baby got fried, she herself survived without injury. Many people believe that when lightning strikes a man, it can be used to predict his future, with terms and conditions, of course. Some historians also state that man is capable of invoking lightning. The author El Piso said that the ancient king Numa did it all the time. Then his successor, Tullus Hostilius, tried to imitate him, but he didn't do the ceremonies right, so he just got electrocuted. Is any of this true? Maybe. At the very least, I buy the fortune fortune-telling thing. Now, we all know that we see lightning before we hear thunder. That's
gotta
nothing
be true. I mean, that
special.
just
It's
makes
just because
sense.
light has a greater velocity than sound. It's the same event. Thunder's
based?
just the sound that lightning
based?
makes. Fun fact, man is the only animal that isn't always killed by lightning. Any other creature, instant death every time, but we're special. Lightning can strike just about anything, except for laurels, seals, and eagles. They're all safe. It also never descends more than 5 feet into the ground, so if you're someone who's scared of lightning, your best bets are deep caves or a tent made out of seal skin. Besides all this normal weather, we do have records of some real weird stuff falling from the sky. It has rained milk and blood on many occasions.
Sure.
One time it rained
Sure.
flesh, and the fallen meat that wasn't eaten by birds just didn't rot. You know, your casual immortal meat storm. One time it rained
that
wool,
happens.
another time there was a shower of baked tiles. What a country, huh? Stones have been known to fall from the sky now and then. The Greeks like to brag about how the philosopher Anaxagoras correctly predicted such an event, but I find that dubious. We know a stone fell, it was like a wagon load big, but I think Anaxagoras just got lucky. I mean, the guy said it would fall out of the sun. What do you want about? The sun can't do a rock, it doesn't have rocks. Finally, rainbows are nothing special. We get them all the time. They don't predict the weather or anything else, they're just something that happens. Rays of sunlight hit a hollow cloud and they get refracted. And the colors are due to a mixture of clouds, air, and fire.
There
Let's
you
come
go.
down from the air onto the earth. Good old Mother Earth. The other 3 elements are bastards. You never know when they're going to turn on you. Fire burns us, water pelts us as hail and floods our villages, air rages in squalls, but Earth, she's just hanging out. And what a bounty she has for us, giving us crops, flowers, medicinal plants.
sick.
In her compassion, she even gave us poison, so when life sucks, we can kill ourselves quickly. And what does man do? Naturally, we take advantage of her kindness. We torture her for all the iron, timber, and stone she can bear, and then we use that iron to tear out her
Sad.
entrails in search of gems to put on our fingers. Do you know how many hands have to be worked to the bone just to decorate one joint of another? Honestly, if hell existed, all this greedy digging would get us there. But, of course, whatever we take from her, we all pay back in blood and bones eventually. World keeps turning. Just wish y'all weren't such ingrates about it. Anyway, as we said, the Earth is a perfect sphere, except for, you know, mountains and valleys, but close enough. There's a question we get all the time when people first learn about this, particularly from the commoners. They'll go, right, if Earth's a ball, why don't people on the other side fall off? To
Damn,
that I
based.
say, why doesn't the whole thing fall down? Where would it go if it did? Up into the other sky? That doesn't make sense. No, the Earth is right where it belongs. Then they'll say, all right, fine, but why's the ocean flat then? Guess what? It's not. Here, take a glass of water, fill it to the brim, then drop a little something in there. See that slight, subtle curve? That's the ocean. You can see it when a ship goes out to sea. The bottom bit will disappear over the horizon before the mast does, and so it goes all the way around. One time, some Indians got
Yeah,
blown off
figured it
course
out.
by a storm
Based.
and ended up in Germany. Side
Close
note,
enough.
this was not the first nor the last time the translator started his annotation with this exact 11-syllable sigh of frustration. The ocean they must have crossed had to be massive, like half the globe. Real quick, let's think about how much of the world is even inhabitable. We got one hemisphere over here, which is divided into 5 zones, right? On the top and bottom, miserable, nothing but cold and darkness. In the middle, sun's too close, burns everything, miserable. So already we only got a fifth of the place to ourselves. Then take into account all the seas and mountains and wilderness and other crap in the way, there's barely anything left. And this is what every war in history has been over, this tiny portion of what amounts to a speck in the universe. Even if you conquered the world, you'd have barely started. And how much of it can you bring with you to the grave, huh? So the Earth is in the middle of the
he's
universe,
spinning.
and we know this because of the equinoxes. Day and night, perfectly balanced on these 2 dates. We're right in the middle. It just makes sense. There's plenty of other proof that we live on a globe. Certain stars can only be seen from different parts of the world, and that's because the Earth's in the way. Just ask a sailor, they'll see new stars squink their way out of the horizon as they go. Also, eclipses show that the time of day depends on your east-west position. A few years back, the same eclipse of the sun, same exact event, was seen at 8 in Campania, but at noon in Armenia.
Wow.
Try explaining that one, plainest.
How did they know
Here's
that?
another. One time, a courier named Philonides ran from Sicyon to Elis, which is a distance of 1,200 stadia. The way there took him 9 hours, but then the return trip took him 15. And it's not because he was tired or took a break somewhere. Brother, he ran against the sun. Likewise, the length of shadows on a given day depends on your latitude. In Egypt, on the summer solstice at noon, their sundials cast a shadow half the length of the pointy bit, whereas in Venice, at the very same hour, the shadow's as long as the pointy bit. If you keep going south, eventually you'll reach a point where the sun's straight up at the solstice. We dug a well in a town called Syene just to check, and sure enough, it's light all the way down. If you go even further south, you'll notice the sun do
That's
that twice a
beast.
year at equal distances from the solstice. There's also a place in India where there just aren't shadows, ever, and as a consequence, the people there don't know what hours are. But because of the way the sun moves, you'll notice that the longest day of the
That doesn't fit with anything you just said. That doesn't fit with anything you just said. You made a whole system of rules that kind of adds up, and then in India, it just doesn't apply?
The year is longer the further north you go. In Alexandria on the summer solstice, they get 14 hours of daylight. In Italy, it's 15, and in Britain, it's 17. Following this pattern, we believe that at the very North Pole, it's 24, meaning they get 6 months of daylight at a time, with 6 months of night on the other side. The difference in climate based on latitude is clearly reflected in the nations that live there. For one, the Ethiopians... Let's talk about earthquakes. The Babylonians used to blame these on the movements of the stars. One guy is even said to have predicted an earthquake through astrological means. Is that true? I'll let you be the judge. I, for one, believe that earthquakes are caused by the winds. Think about it. Before an earthquake, it's always very calm. The seas are tranquil. There's not a single bird in the sky. Why? No wind. They can't fly. Where'd the wind go? Underground. It gets stuck down there and it builds up until finally hell literally breaks loose. It starts off with a horrible noise like cows mooing or people fighting in the distance. Then everything shakes hard. Whole city walls get knocked down and sometimes the earth opens up and swallows them entirely. The shaking's even noticed by people on ships who get hit by waves without any wind. Earthquakes also make well water turn cloudy and smelly. So the obvious question is, what the hell can we do about it? Well, places with a lot of natural caverns or man-made sewers tend to get fewer earthquakes. That's because the underground air has an easy way to escape. Buildings that are arched or that lean against each other also tend to fare better in the event of an earthquake. Barring all else, at least things are usually over with quickly. Although some earthquakes have been known to last days, months, even 1 or 2 years straight. As for related anomalies, about a century and a half ago, 2 mountains slammed together and collapsed, and fire and smoke came from the ground where they stood. More recently, under Nero, there was a knight named Vectius Marcellus who woke up to find that his fields and olive grounds swapped places with each other. No mayhem or destruction, just, oh, this is over here now, okay? But just as Earth swallows up land in one place, she spits it back out elsewhere. As such, islands sometimes rise up spontaneously out of open sea. We have tons of records of these events across the Mediterranean. They're often accompanied by a giant fiery explosion and loads of dead fish floating everywhere. It's said that one time some people ate these fish, and then they too immediately died. But enough of tragedies. Let's turn back to the wonders of the Earth, such as there are many caverns filled with gas that instantly kills things. Some kill only birds, others kill everything but people, and still more kill everything and people. In a few caves, those who breathe the gas instead become intoxicated and start predicting the future, as is the case with the famous oracle at Delphi. We can ascribe these effects to the divine power of nature. I mean, what else could it be? How the hell do you explain that rationally? But while most islands are attached to the earth at the bottom, there are a few that float. The Calaminae Islands are not only moved by the wind, but the people on them can actually push them around with long poles to go wherever they want. There's another group of floating islands known as the Dancers, so called because they move to the beat of drums played on their surface. I've got a few more miscellaneous wonders here. Let me just rattle them off. In Harpassa, there's a giant rock that can be moved by one finger, but not by the force of the whole body. In Paracini, there's a type of dirt that heals all wounds. In Troas, there's a stone that makes dead bodies dissolve. Near the Indus River, there's 2 mountains, one of which attracts iron and the other repels it.
It's just like if if like a story you heard from a guy one time was instantly enshrined as universal law. Every time someone just tells you something, you're like, well, that has to be true. This is just Twitter. It's like Twitter knowledge. This is like, I heard the vaccine makes your balls shrink. That's fact. I heard it on Twitter.
So if you had iron nails in your shoes, you couldn't step on the one or off the other. In Argyripa, the grania plant doesn't grow, and in Crustaminium, the hay springs up already rotten.
It's like the way they talked about Pokemon on the schoolyard in the 1990s, where it's like, oh yeah, Mew 3 exists. I've seen it. Mew 3 is real. You just have to go and, sail around and use strength or whatever. It's like, people just make shit up. Pikachu can evolve into Peekaboo. And if you don't know that, you're an idiot. Okay, that's a fact.
Turn now to the tides. We know these are caused by the moon, and to a lesser degree the sun. Moon overhead, they go up, moon on the other side, they go down. A large open ocean is needed to manifest this power of the planet, which is why neither lakes nor rivers have tides. In Britain, the tide rises 120 feet. The tides do a full cycle twice a day, except in Euboea, where they do it 7 times. Aristotle said that animals only die when the tide is ebbing, but really that's only true of people. Watch. Seawater is salty, and that's because the sun evaporates all the mild sweet water while leaving all the gross crap that ends up in the ocean behind. A number of estimates have been made for the depth of the ocean, ranging from 15 stadia to who the hell knows. Seawater is also heavier than freshwater, which is why things float better on it. As with everything in nature, bodies of water have no shortage of weird stuff they get down to. Some rivers actually run underground before bursting out again elsewhere. We know they're the same river because if you chuck stuff in one, it comes out the other side. There's a lake in Judea where nothing sinks at all. In Dodona, there's a spring called the Fountain of Jupiter, and though the water there is cold as ice, it'll relight extinguished torches held near its surface. The river Melas turns sheep black when they drink from it, while the Cephasus makes them turn white, the Peneus turns them black again, and then the Xanthus makes them red. The river Astaces makes the horses there produce black milk, which the people use for food. There's a spring in the island of Andros that tastes like wine. The river Lyncestis tastes sour but gets you drunk like wine, and in Arcadia, there's a river called the Styx that kills you instantly. In Labrosis, there are 3 springs, all of which also kill you instantly, but in a much less painful fashion than the Styx. That's enough of those. From here we turn at last to the 4th element, fire. In Samosata, along the Euphrates, there's a big pool of this flammable mud they call maltha. It sticks to everything it touches, and if you set it on fire, even water won't extinguish it. Romans invaded these lands long ago, and the people there poured the stuff on our soldiers, cooked them in their armor like a crab. There are certain places in the world where fire's always burning. The summits of many mountains are home to such flames, as are the occasional crater and field. And of course, the sun and stars are no exception. What a weird thing these are, like fire needs fuel to spread and sustain itself. So what is it that can feed these flames without destroying itself in the process? There's a thinker for ye. But besides these guys, where else does fire come from? You got fires lit by men, for one. Certain stones...
It is also funny how many questions he just leaves unanswered. He's like, this one nobody knows. This one, this one's a stumper. He's like so confident about a million things he hasn't tested or checked. And then some of he's like, that one's just fucked. Who knows?
have fire.
I know for sure that Jupiter causes thunderbolts, obviously, but fire? Volcano? Who knows?
In them innately. There's the fire you get from rubbing sticks together, and there's the fire in clouds that causes lightning. You can also use concave mirrors to focus sunlight into fire. Highly potent, do be careful. Sudden fires also manifest occasionally in the human body. One time when 6th king of Rome, Servius Tullius, was a child, he was just sleeping there when suddenly flames shot out of his freaking head. I've got more fun facts like this to drop later, but it's about time we wrap this book up. And what better way than by sizing up the entire globe? So I ran some numbers, added some distances, checked some other people's answers. I've got some estimates here on the width of the inhabited world, from the mouth of the Ganges in India to the port city of Gades in the west. These all fall around 9,000 miles, give or take 1,000. But like I said before, the uninhabited Earth extends far beyond that. Eratosthenes was a really bright dude, and he put the circumference at 31,500 miles. What a big, wild world it is. Just how wild? You'll have to tune in next time for books 3 through 6.
What is it? What is the actual circumference of the Earth? What is the Earth circumference in miles? 25,000 miles. Bro, it wasn't that far off. Oh, it says in the video? I actually didn't see it right there. There it is. Bro, it wasn't that far off, though. That's pretty good.
6, all of which...
And, like, he could have just Googled it, obviously, and got a better answer, but it's pretty cool to use math and shit and get, like, a somewhat close answer.
Which are titled An Account of Countries, Nations, Seas, Towns, Havens, Mountains, Rivers, Distances, and Peoples Who Now Exist or Formerly Existed. But for now, I'm Pliny the Elder, et gratias ago tibi, qui aspectandi. The
Fun
Pope's
video!
sitting at home fuming at my pronunciation right there.
Fun video! Chad, thanks for watching today. That was a fun Get Smarter Saturdays. Appreciate you putting up with a shorter stream today, but I will be back to Monday with some content. Good night, good luck. Let me raid someone. Let me raid someone. Dude, everyone's playing Marvel Rivals lately. Marvel Rivals is so... We'll raid a Spectacore. The first Spectacore raid of the new year. Raid a Spectacore. Check out his new video. Goodbye. See you on Monday. Goodbye. That Blue Dog video was fire. Bye. Thanks for searching it.